Yeah, what up? I'm back again. I don't know, I'm just feeling it right now. I said, let me just do another one while I got this high energy. And yeah. So I'm back, Anpu Ra, with another astral travel video, you know, letting the world know what it is, giving some information on my experience, reading from my own personal journal. Yes. Some people out there they read a lot of books. They get the information from a lot of books. Me, I'm writing my own book, you know. And it's funny because I remember once, see, my girl, she's into astrology. And she's very big on the signs. I give her that. Like, she's very big on that. You tell her your birthday, she'll tell you about yourself. And 99% of the time, she's right. You know, there's people that came up to her about relationship issues and she's like, what his sign is? Oh, he's a Leo. Oh no, that's why because you and a Leo don't mix. Da 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 da. Like she's on point with it. So I remember one day she went to the library and she got this astrology book, and it was so funny because in like towards the end of the book in the chapter, it spoke about astral traveling. And see, and around this time, I was just coming out and telling her about my experience, and it was very hard for her, you know. It was very hard for her, but she got it, but she didn't really understand it. She didn't really get it, and I was trying to like, I was showing her other people videos on YouTube, like, yo, they saying the same shit I'm saying, whatever. So, and at this time, I'm writing my own book. So, this journal. And in that chapter, the book that she had, got from the library, in that chapter, it was like it was saying things that I already wrote in my book, and that was off of my experience. You know what I'm saying? And it spoke about the vibration, you know, and it was like a couple of lines in there that it was like damn near the same thing what I wrote about flying and she was excited when she saw that because she's so into astrology, she didn't know that she was going to find out about that because it also spoke about dreams and stuff. And then the next chapter was about astral traveling, and she was like, "Oh, check this part of the chapter. Boom, boom, boom. Look, read this, read this." So I'm like, "All right." So I got the book and I started to read it, and I just started to laugh, and I just closed the book. Boom. And she was like, "Did you read it?" I was like, "Yeah, I read it, but it's not giving me any information that I don't know about." And she kind of got upset. I said, "Don't get upset." I said, "I'm not trying to play you." I said, "This book, yeah, it got some information. Don't get me wrong." But I said, "Wait right here." So I went and got my journal and I opened the chapter back up to where she gave me, and I read the chapter. I read a certain part, and then I said, "Okay, here I wrote here on this date. This is what I wrote," and it was like damn near the same thing what I said, what the book says, what I said. So I said, "You see what I'm saying?" I'm like, I'm not trying to play you. It's just that you know I don't need to go into or read a book to get information when I'm writing my own book and I'm going off of information from my own experience. You know, and she was like, then she understood what I meant. But yeah. So this journal, had to come in the making. It had to be. It had to be. Maybe this is something that I can leave to someone. Just like how the ancients had the information on the walls and carvings and in tablets and scrolls. You know, maybe one day I'll find someone that's really truly into this type of information and I could just pass this book on. And then the book can, go from one hand to another. Just like my man Thoth. My man Thoth, before I left New York, he he had a lot of books. And I'm not saying that, don't read books and, don't, you know, there's no information in books. There's totally a lot of information in books. I read a lot of books, but I was just trying to prove a point to her that I'm writing my own right now. And yeah, I mean, my man Thorf, he gave me the Book of the Dead. I mean, he had that book for years, and he's passed that book on to me. Excuse me. He passed that book on to me, and maybe one day, if I find someone that's into that type of information, I could pass that book on to them. Um, gave me another book, Herbeck. He gave me another book called "They Came Before Columbus." I mean, he gave me a lot of books. Hathor has given me books about the Orisha. She also, you know, gave me a book of the Metanetta. A lot of information. You know, I'm into those type of books. Right now, the book I'm reading is Seth Material. Yeah, so shout out again to Seth Dark Arts. I found that, to be honest with you, I found out about that book through him watching his videos. And I was like, what the hell is this Seth Material shit? Like, what is he talking about? You know? And like I said, when I watch people's videos or when I read books, I do my own research. I look into it myself. I just don't read books and then take the information and just go with it and be like, oh, okay, that's what it is. Nah. I'll read a book and I go into it. Like when me and my friend Thorf had connected, you know, like I said, man, I chill with the crimey Grammys in New York, goons. And he's also a goon, a old school OG, he was in the Attica riot when he was 19. He had got locked up for robbery, bank robberies, and they sent him to Attica. And his third week in Attica, they had the riot, the famous riot that's been on the news, it's in the paper. They even made a movie about it. My man Thornton, aka Thorth, aka Big Dog, you know, and he was always around us young G's. And you know, when me and him started talking one time, he was like, he realized there was something different. I was different than the others, and he saw something that, a lot of people probably didn't see. And, he started kicking the ancient Egyptian thing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm into that. Like, I started researching and stuff, we started going back and forth, but he was teaching me so much. And he was talking about the Book of the Dead, you know, and I went to the museum, checked the shit out myself. I went to the museum and checked it out myself. The National History Museum, the Brooklyn Museum, the information is there. And I went and brought video footage and photos footage and came back to him like, yo, you were right, I checked it out. I went to the museum. Look, this is the Book of the Dead, the scrolls. This is what they wrote on the scrolls when they wrapped the bodies, the mummies up. And it blew his mind. He was like, you actually went to the museum? I'm like, yeah. And he was just like, and from there on, he had total respect for me. And he would give me information. I went and looked it up myself. So that's another thing, guys, ladies and gents. When you get information, yeah, take the information and decipher it, and then go look for yourself. Go check it out yourself. Just don't take anybody's word for it. But there's knowledge in these books and there's knowledge in these old tablets, you know, and this journal right here. Like I said, there's knowledge in this for me and for somebody out there that's listening. I mean, like I said, don't take my word for it. Go look it up yourself. I'm just giving you, my point of view on this astral traveling out of body experience. Don't believe me about the shadow beings. Look it up. Do your research. People don't like to research on their own. I'm always studying. I've been through college. I went to many colleges. I graduated. You know what I'm saying? And I'm from the hood. I'm from the hood. And I'm the first man in my family to graduate from college. So, and I learned more things on my own than I learned in these colleges. So educate yourself, peoples. Educate yourself. Um, yeah. So that last video I did, it was about June 12th, 2014, and how I spoke about, how I astral traveled for the first time in the afternoon while I was at work on my lunch break, and I kind of tapped into the past a little bit. I actually saw spirits, entities that I never seen before. And yeah, it's pretty deep. Man, this astral travel gets deep, you know. This is something serious. This is serious. But you have to understand that you all out there astral travel when you dream. You know what I'm saying? It's just different levels of astral traveling. Because if you could wake up from a dream and you remember the dream, you were there. You know what I'm saying? Like you were there. You was doing that. You was going through that situation in another realm, you know? And it's funny how when you were dreaming, you still the same person. Your personality is still there. You still have happy moments in your dreams. You still have sad moments in your dreams. I mean, there's been times I've cried in my dream. There's been times I felt actual pain in my dreams. You know, it's when you dream, you're astral traveling, but it's different levels because when you dream and then you're lucid and you conscious, then that's a whole nother level. Then you on another level right there. But y'all all astral travel. That's the thing. And we gotta look more deep into this subject. More deep into this subject. And you'll realize that all these beings on this planet, all these souls on this planet is not so different. It's not so different, you know. But this racism and all this negativity is just and religion, it just separates us so much, so far apart that this is why we in the situation that we in on this planet and on this dimension. We got to get with it. All right. So the last experience, like I said, tapped into the past somehow. It was amazing. On this one, I'm gonna talk about what happened to me on July 2nd, 2014, which was a Tuesday. All right. So like I said, and most of the times it happens the same time, around the same time. But that last video was different. It was in the afternoon. First time is ever happened. And I'm pretty sure it's probably not going to be the last. So, you know, I learned something different. Beginning I thought, oh, this could only happen around this time, and then you see, through my own book, taking notes, writing down my experience, I've learned, I was wrong. I'm pretty sure now I'm know like you could actually travel any time of the day, any time of the day. It's just certain methods that work for you, and like I said, what works for me is breaking your sleep pattern and going back to sleep. That works for me. So try it one day. Wake yourself up in the middle of the night, walk around a little bit, and then go back to sleep. Or try to like be conscious. Don't try to fall fully asleep. Try to keep that mind awake. All right. So on this segment, July 2nd, 2014, it was around 3:45 a.m. The magical hour. That's what I call it. And everybody was asleep. And like I said, at this time, I moved from Queens to Brooklyn. I was living on Decatur. You know, Wilson. And like I said before, that's the hood. It was hard to get rest around there. Because where I used to live at in Queens, it was like so quiet and shit. But in that area, man, it's like the fucking jungle. Gunshots, sirens, freaking ratchet chicks outside fighting, car accident. The first day we moved there, that night, it was a car accident right in front of the building I was sleeping in, which was crazy. Kids all up all the night, 12 o'clock in the morning. They kids outside. bounce to the basketball, and I'm trying to get some rest to go to sleep. So at that time, it was hard for me to have a real fully astral travel, and that's why I was having doubts. I wasn't comfortable where I was at, to be honest with you, but I had to make sacrifices. Life is about sacrifices. So I was in my mother-in-law's apartment, and she lived in a retirement home setting, but we got permission to stay for a certain amount of time. And, it was real small, one bedroom, you know, four people in this one little bedroom, one bedroom apartment. It was difficult. It was rough times, but it all paid off, trust me. So this is what the experience was going down at. It was in Brooklyn, at this apartment. And so I felt the vibration. No, I'm sorry. I didn't feel the vibration, but I heard a whisper in my ear, like something was whispering to me. And and it's funny because when you go, back to the Bible, like I said, there is some truth in these books. Uh, Back into the Bible, the serpent is the ones that came to Eve and you know and told her to eat the fruit, whatever. And when you look up the word serpent means the whisperer. He was telling her a secret. He was like, "Yo, girl, listen, you eat this fruit, you know, your eyes will be open and you become like God." So yeah, I heard the whisper in my ear, and I wrote here it must have been a shadow being. Shadow beings. Hey, I wrote shadow beings are responsible for our nightmares at night. I'm pretty sure most of it is them, but then you see, dreams could be um your desires, things that you desire. You could always, you desire material things. You might dream about that a lot. You driving a Ferrari or living in a big old mansion, or you could desire women. You might have a lot of wet dreams. You having sex with multiple women. You know, their desires. They also dreams are, your fears. So I'm not going to say I'm gonna correct myself. I'm not going to say, well, I'm not sure, but that nightmares could be most of the time could be you. It could be your own fears, what you fear the most. And I guess because you haven't conquered that fear, your mind playing it out. You know, your soul is a very amazing entity. You know, maybe it's trying to teach you a lesson. Don't fear this, da da da. Da. But to me, I know for sure that most of the time it's the jinn. Because I know during my research, I know they feed off of fear. I know they feed off of fear. And within my experience, not, reading from any book or anything, when I was having these experiences, they would have their hands over me when it was always a time when I was so scared. They would have their hands over me like if they were just sucking in energy. So, yeah. So your dreams are your desires, your fears, and a lot of dreams are, messages. They could be messages. People, that are deceased, certain situations that come across your life and you're trying to find a solution for, and you might have the dream, the solution might come to you. And yeah, then you have lucid dreams when you're conscious. This is what it's about. So they feed off our fear, but I wasn't scared. Because I wasn't scared, it made a screaming sound. And I still wasn't scared. Like it was really trying to put fear into me. Like it was whispering like I felt it. It was like, like right here by my ear. And I just played it cool, like, whatever, what's up? What's good? What you want to do? And because I didn't respond to it, because I didn't get scared and I wasn't able to feed it, it started screaming like, and it was loud. It was loud. And it sounded like a demonic scream. just to get the fear in me, you know? And still I was like, whatever. See, like I said, they can't hurt you. They can't do nothing to you. But they can manipulate your mind. That's their power. That's how they get down. So I know how they work, and because his plan wasn't working, it just stopped. And I was able to leave my body, and I was looking around the room, and I didn't see any shadow beings. But I was in an astral body, but I didn't know it at that time. Okay, and I went up. When I went to get up, I remember that my leg was like stuck to like my body, which was weird. And like I told you, like when you haven't let the vibration, go for a long period of time, it's like you're glued to your physical body. Like, it's like pulling away. And it was so crazy. Like my whole astral body was out, but my leg was still connected. And it was like if I was like trying to tug my leg out. And so I pulled my leg really hard, then I stood up. And then I asked myself, you see, this is when it comes to being conscious, questioning everything. I asked myself, I said, did I leave my body? So I looked at my bed, but I didn't see my body there, which was crazy. And then sometimes that happens. Sometimes when I leave my body, I'll see my body still laying in the bed. But then sometimes I won't see my body. It's kind of weird. And I watch other people's videos. They had the same experience. So, I'm speaking from what happened to me and what I observed. Other people out there had the same thing, you know. So I don't know the true science behind that, but that's another question that we all could look into. And yeah, so I looked around and everything in the room looked the same. Like I said, fourth dimension, everything looks the same. Like here I am, different apartment, looked the same. One bedroom apartment in Brooklyn, same shit. Everything looked the same. The bed, the dresser, the TV, the closet, everything looks the same. So there is a trick that I do to see if I left my body. Now that's how conscious I was. That the trick was to turn on a light switch. Like I told you before, look at your digital clock, turn away from it, look back at the clock. The time changes dramatically. You astral travel. Hitting the light switch. Sometimes when you hit light switches and stuff like that, it won't turn on. Like it doesn't work like that. And I remember the other day I was dreaming. Someone was trying to give me their phone number, right? And I had my phone. I'm trying to punch in their numbers, but the numbers I was punching in wasn't the same numbers. So I was like confused, like what the hell's wrong with my phone? Not realizing that I astral traveled and I was in the astral realm. So using electronics is to your advantage in the astral realm because the laws are different. When you're in the other dimensions, electronics ain't shit. It ain't shit, but it can, wake you up a little bit. And I mean, this third dimension is everything. Without fucking electricity, the fucking world will go crazy. So yeah, I went to the bathroom and yeah, to turn the light switch. So I didn't want to wake up my girl, so I went to the bathroom. So when I went to the bathroom to hit the switch, the bathroom light came on, but it was a different bathroom. The whole bathroom looked totally different. It was all big and spacious, and I was like, what the hell? So, I mean, when I got up, I didn't see the jinn. I didn't see him. But doesn't mean that they weren't around. Doesn't mean that they weren't around. They were just whispering in my ear. So he probably was hidden in the shadows, and they probably tried to throw me off. So when I went to the bathroom to hit the switch, light came on, but the bathroom looked totally different. So they probably manipulated my mind to make me think that I was somewhere else to throw me off and then loop me into a dream and then take advantage of me. This is the game that they play. So soon as I realized what was going on, I went back to my body and woke up. So I knew something was up. And here I wrote, this was the first time I astral traveled while in this apartment, the apartment that I was in Brooklyn. And my girl had woke up right when I woke up, and she had told me that she had a lot of nightmares. You see what I'm saying? She had a lot. That was exact words that came out her mouth. When I got up, she got up and she was like, hold me, hold me. I said, what's wrong? She said, oh my God, I had some crazy nightmares. I'm scared. You see what I'm saying? So I guess the jinn was trying to confuse me and take advantage and take the energy of my girl by using fear. This is probably why I didn't see my body in the bed. Because I saw her body, but not my physical body. If I would have knew that I was in an astral realm, things would have been a little different. Trust me. You see, maybe that's why I didn't see my body. Maybe they manipulated my mind, because if I would have realized I was astral traveling, oh, I would have been looking for them. Because I already knew they were there. I heard the whisper in my ear. They were trying to project fear. They were screaming. You see, this is the tricks. They scared. They suckers. You know, if they were so bold and brave and so scary, and they would have made it be known and bring their best. But they know they messing with the legendary Anpu Ra. So I'm about to end it on that note. So that's what happened on July 2nd, 2014. That was my first actual travel in this new setting. It's a new apartment. And yeah, I mean, the last video, it was in that same apartment too, but I mean, it was at the job. The last before that, when I said I felt it coming towards me and it sounded like a train, like the vibration got louder and louder and then it went away. That was also at that apartment, but the actual leave my body and walk around, that was like the first time I've done it in that apartment. But yeah. So there we go. I'm gonna leave on that note. Something crazy, right? Might sound crazy to you, but to me, this is life. This is life for Anpu Ra during my journey, during my initiation. You know, talking about that book, Her Back. You know, he was he was an Egyptian boy, that he was going through things in life, but didn't realize that he was being initiated to the hidden knowledge. Yeah, so check that book out. And for those out there, pretty sure y'all all got a story to tell. So start writing your own book. All right. So I'm gonna leave y'all on that note. Peace, God. Peace to the God and goddesses. It's your boy Anpu Ra, the Astral Traveler. Peace.